Okay, I'm going to go through and do the, let's see, make sure I have, it doesn't show the audio. Hopefully the audio is good. I'm going to do the first assignment. So I always start with a sketch. I know in the tutorial version it doesn't, so I'll start new, and then part, I'll just click OK. And it opens up a part file. And I'm going to have you do this. I'm not going to grade this on this assignment, but we're always going to put in under File Properties. I'm going to put in my last name first, first initial, and then the subject for this one is Tutor 1. I'm going to press OK. And I'm also going to do this, and part of what we'll go through this semester is file management, and later on when we do assemblies this will be certainly a lot more important. But I'm going to do a file save as, and I'm going to pick my location, and in this case I'll just put it on my desktop. And we're always going to use the naming convention of, I think I got out of that. Let's try that again. Save as on my desktop with my last name first, first initial Tutor 1, and that title will match in Canvas. This title will also match the drawing for the part. This is going to save using this file extension. It'll be a solid part file saved on the desktop with this name. Save. And you'll notice up here it changes up on the title here. I always start with a sketch. So when you're open in a part file, you'll see these tabs here. You'll see we have a property manager here. And the way I like to explain the SolidWorks system is you're usually in three modes. You're in what I call a graphics view mode or a view mode, and then or you're in a sketch mode, or you're in a feature mode. And you'll see all three of those right here as I go through the video demo. But within our graphics area here, to the left of it, we have what's called a feature design tree. They call it a feature manager design tree. Sometimes we call it a tree. Sometimes we call it a design tree. So I'll kind of use those terms interchangeably. And then we have property manager. This is going to change automatically as we move through some selections. The configurations you'll do in the next class. And then the display, we don't really use this, or the dimension expert manager. This is more for the advanced class. Actually, the display you can kind of play around with a little bit, but the dimension expert, this is something I don't really go over. So in the property manager, you can see it has some default planes, and it shows the origin, shows that little point. But if you go to View, Hide Show, you could turn on and off your origin. Okay. And I'm going to be talking a lot about origins and orientations, so those are two different things. The origin is this point, or it's going to be a point in space, in three-dimensional space. The orientation relates to what features are what we call normal to, or what features we can see two-dimensionally from the default planes. Okay, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a default plane, from any plane. And I'll go over that throughout the semester. So for the new file, I'm going to start sketch. The tutorial doesn't do this. It actually starts with a feature, but then it kicks you into sketch right away. So, but the video demos will always start with the sketch. And then the property manager opens up and it asks me with this message, select a plane. The orientation does not matter. I'm going to select top. And I'm going to use the line function There's a few different functions you can use. But with the line function, if I select this in sketch mode, a pencil comes up, and I can just do dun, 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 here to here to here, and I'll go back. Even though this is two lines, it still shows as a closed contour, so it shows in a shaded area. And I'm actually in sketch mode. And the way I know I'm in sketch mode as opposed to a feature mode or a graphics mode is this shows this little exit. This will exit and keep my sketch. It shows exit sketch here, and it also shows up here sketch 1 of Buchler. If I exit this sketch, I'm going to keep this sketch. I can't now, I'm not in sketch mode anymore, I'm in display mode, and it shows my sketch here with a minus sign in the parentheses because it's underdefined. So I'm going to right click on here, and I'm going to select edit sketch, and now I'm back into the sketch that I just did. So from here I'm going to select the Smart Dimension tool, and I know I'm in metric, so before I dimension I'm going to make sure I'm in metric, and I think it's 120. I'm going to select just the line length, 120, and then I'm also going to add, I'll add on this sketch fillets. And I think these are, I don't know if they're 10. I thought they were 5 millimeters. So I'll just add 5. Whatever the drawing shows. Now from here, it still shows all, if you noticed, we've got these green icons. These are sketch relations that are giving us information about the sketch entities. Okay? And there's tangent points, and they're equal in length because this is a vertical line and this is a vertical line, and they're constrained vertically and horizontally, and they're equal in size on the radius and the lengths. But it shows underdefined because if I grab this, oh come on, I'm going to escape out of that tool, I can move this around, and I've got another entity there. I need to delete that, I'm not sure. So from here, I need to anchor this, so I'm going to select any point. I'm going to hold Control down, and I'm going to select the part origin. So now this point I selected and my part origin are both selected because I held Control down and selected both of them. And now I'm going to make them coincident. I'm going to say yes, and I added a sketch relation. That's how you add a sketch relation. I'll do it again throughout this video demo. And now you can see all of my sketch entities are black, and it shows down here fully defined. So from here I'm going to go, now that I'm fully defined, there's a couple things you can do. I'm going to actually escape out of the dimension tool by pressing escape, escape. Even though it shows fully defined down here, sometimes it'll have a minus sign here. But once I exit the sketch, this minus sign will go away. The minus sign shows that your sketch is underdefined. But in this case, it's not. It just hasn't been updated in the design tree. I can hold my wheel mouse down and rotate it. I can wheel in and out and zoom. Another really important feature is if you right click on here, this little icon here is normal to. And if you click on that, try it again, click normal to, it makes your two-dimensional sketch normal to your screen. And I usually don't like that. Most designers don't like that. We want kind of an isometric view like this. And I'll show you why. Once I have this fully defined, I'm going to select Features, Extrude, and then I'm not sure what the size is. I'm just going to press 30. Just make sure you do your dimensions correctly on this. I'm going to say yes. And now I have, in my feature design tree, my sketch is fully defined, and this is the boss. Or you could call this the base. If you noticed up here it says base for a base extrusion. Okay. And this is fully defined, so this looks pretty good. I can actually go ahead and save again, and this will update the file just in case I crash or have some issue. So from here, I'm going to select Sketch again. And from the Sketch tab, I'm going to select the Sketch icon. And it asks me, there's two options now. A default face, and this is a flyout. I can select the default face, or an existing sketch. So I'm going to select this face. I'm going to select Circle. And I'm just going to click on the middle, and then you click on the radius. And then I noticed once I did that, once I selected the face, it kicks me into Sketch. So this is my second sketch. I'm going to select Features. I'm sorry, not Features. Smart Dimension this. And I think that's, let's say, 50. No. 70. And then it's dimensioned from the arc to this edge at 60. And then I need to dimension it the other way. And be really cognizant of what edge is dimensioned. I'm not going off the bottom edge. I'm going off the correct edge. Some assignments that's more important, but just try and use best practice. So now this is fully defined. It's all of the arc is black. So I'm going to select from a fully defined sketch. I'm going to select Features. And then Extrude. And if you notice in the sketch, the closed contour of the arc, center of the arc, was shaded a little darker gray. So I'm going to select 70. The distance it's going to extrude, I'll just select 20. I'm going to say yes. And once I do that, again, it kicks me out of the feature mode where I was editing the boss, and it kicks me back into this is the graphics mode. So I can right click on that second sketch and select Edit Sketch, and this is the sketch mode. You can see this by it's got Exit Sketch here and Exit Sketch here. So this is the sketch mode. I'm going to exit. You can also right click and edit the feature. And this has the property manager with the distance and the preview display, which should work just fine for most applications. This is feature mode, and this has a green checkbox here. I'm going to select that, and it kicks me out of the feature mode back into just my graphics view. Alright, this is great. Again, sketch, sketch. I'm going to select this face, and you can see I'm in sketch mode now, so I can select this arc. And if you select this edge, the center it'll give you a center mark that you can click on, and that will add this coincident relation between arcs and the edge of the boss. So I'm going to smart dimension this at 50, and this looks good. I'm fully defined down here. It shows I'm in sketch mode, and I'm going to select Features, but not a boss. I'm going to cut, and from here I'm going to do, the direction will be through all. Done. So that looks pretty good. Now I have here in my design tree now, I've got the cut extrusion and the sketch of that circle, which is all fully defined. And then, this is a little different. I'm not going to start from a sketch, but from the feature tab, I'm going to add a fillet. And I think there's two. There's 5 is one, So I'm going to make this 5mm, and I could select, in this case, this face. That's all I need to do is select the face. I'm going to say yes, and that looks good. And then I'm going to do another one. It's a different radius, so I need to select this, and I forgot if it was 2. I think it's 2. It might be 1.5. I don't have the drawing in front of me, which is, you should always have the drawing. Maybe even print it. That would be my preference. I'm going to select for this fillet. I notice I'm in feature mode. I'm going to select this face. It doesn't really prompt you. Sometimes it prompts you for the selection, but in that case it doesn't prompt you for the selection, and that's I think that's not a user-friendly thing, and I'll mention that more throughout the semester. How the software could improve in the property manager on helping us determine what to select. But this looks good. I'm going to select yes. And I think the dimensions are correct. Make sure when you do yours, you're checking the dimension in the design tree. So I have the larger fillet. I have the smaller fillet. The only thing now I'm missing is the shell. So from the Features tab, Shell, and I'm going to go to the back side. This is prompting me faces to remove, and I know this value is 2. So I'm going to select this back face. It doesn't really give me a good preview. Let's see what this shows. That does. So most of the time that's the preview is pre-selected. This looks great. I'm going to say yes. And File, Save. And this is what you'll submit in Canvas. If you do the tutorial, don't go further. Don't change the color. Just go off the dimensions off the drawing. And this is what I'm looking for the first assignment. All right, thank you.